morning and good luck. And welcome back to episode 122 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the show, give it a 5-star review, and send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. If you're watching on YouTube, like you should be, isn't that right, Gengar? Welcome back. Make sure you just flick that like button and then smash the ever-loving fuck out of that subscribe button. And then you're going to head into the comment section and you're going to leave a comment and grease up that algorithm because you are, at the end of the day, an oil man. So to all my oil men, women, and they, thems out there, make sure you grease up that algorithm and let's get into the week. First things first, before we talk about anything, you'll notice I'm wearing this extremely rare, limited edition Barry Sanders Letterman jacket. And I'm wearing that today because the Detroit Lions are back, baby. After absolutely fucking annihilating the Chicago Bears and Benedict Johnson. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Motor City, you traitorous prick. So Lions Super Bowl is back on the menu. I am overjoyed. What was not a overjoyous occasion, which was not a good moment for me, was waking up yesterday to my TikTok being banned. My TikTok was permanently banned out of nowhere yesterday. I have no idea what happened. I didn't get any explanation as to why my TikTok was banned. I just woke up and my account was gone. Over 10 million likes, 260,000 followers. I've been on there forever. Just completely wiped off the face of the map with no warning, no anything. And I hit up just about everybody I know. I sent out the bat signal. I had so many people reach out offering to help. I'm extremely grateful for everybody that did that. I did hit some string pullers as well. And my understanding is that overnight, literally at midnight, a new community guideline algorithm was implemented on the platform. And they have essentially backtracked, gone through everybody's videos, any video you've ever uploaded, and ran them through these new community guidelines. And are mass striking and banning accounts out of nowhere retroactively. And the guidelines are extremely vague. It's to combat misinformation and bullying and political, I'm not really sure. It's extremely vague. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty prepared to just give up on it. I am still worried. All this to say, my account was recovered. TikTok sent me an email this morning and was like, "Hey, sorry about that. Our bad. You're back." Again, no explanation. Just they did bring my account back after I appealed. But I'm worried that as the silencing of free speech continues to get more rampant, I am concerned that this is going to happen again, not just to me, but to other content creators who aren't falling in line. And I think I've been mass reported, which is also how this could have happened. I've been getting mass reported since the incident, which we're about to talk about. Because I was not a big fan of the person that was unalived. And I think this has empowered certain people that don't like me to attack my platform. And so I've been hit with community guideline violations on Instagram. I've been banned on Instagram Live for a year. This happened a couple of days ago. I have had a bunch of TikTok videos retroactively taken down. And so I don't know. Fingers crossed that this is something that kind of blows over with the community guideline thing, but we'll see. But because, look, the first step of the Civil War is to take out GNN. They're trying to suppress the most trusted source in news, and we can't let that happen, can we? We need to fight back. The 3-letter agencies are 100% involved in the assassination of GNN. All right, enough. Let's just get into it. There's really nothing else that needs to be talked about this week other than what happened. Now, listen, I don't feel comfortable talking about it because, I don't like to get political, right? And if we are going to talk about something so damaging to the fabric of our country, so divisive, so earth-shattering, it's best that the most trusted source of news does that, right? And so I'm going to kick it over to Gino Borri, the lead correspondent at GNN. Welcome to GNN, your most trusted source in news. The leading source of news in politics, sports, and this week, you know what we're talking about. And now your host, Gino Borri. Good afternoon, I'm Gino Borri, and this is the news. All right. Oh, fuck, dude. What a fucking week. Going to take a more somber tone, I think, on this segment. There's a lot that I could say about what happened to Charlie. If you're watching this show now, you don't need me to tell you. You've probably seen it. I was not a fan of his, as you all know. I got about 100 DMs from people since the incident, like, happy? You're the reason he was killed. As if I pulled the fucking trigger. Because I was critical of him and his platform. As a content creator who freely discusses politics, it was extremely disturbing to see another content creator, even one that I strongly opposed, murdered in 4K. It was fucked up, man. We're so desensitized, and I really tried not to watch the close-up of it, and it just somehow, I fucking saw it. It was horrifying. It was extremely disturbing. The response from both sides, however, immediately after the event, was the most horrifying part for me. So I want to talk about the immediate response from the right first. Right-wing politicians and content creators immediately, predictably, tried to blame the left and called for a civil war. I was seeing that word thrown around a lot. This is war. It's time for a civil war. You've awoken the. The first thing reported from the FBI was that the shooter was trans. So first the shooter was trans. Then the bullets were trans. Because they found TRN engraved on the bullets, which is Turon ammunition. It's extremely common on ammunition for that rifle. So the bullets weren't trans. And then it came out, he's just a white Christian male that grew up in a Republican household. So that doesn't quite fit their narrative. So then they tried to say that college indoctrinated him. Well, he went to college for like a semester. And that didn't fit their narrative. Oh, wait, now it turns out the roommate is trans. Is anybody nearby trans? Any trans people we can pin this on? We don't know what the motives were as of today, Sunday. Back in my day, domestic terrorists used to write manifestos so we didn't have to speculate. They just left behind a fucking note with everything mapped out. Now these motherfuckers leave behind Blue's Clues like political memes and Reddit comments that we have to decipher like the Da Vinci Code. What happened to just writing an essay? Now we're going through fucking Halloween photos where he's, is this the Pepe meme from the Groypers? And then I want to talk about the response from the left. As many celebrated his death and shitposted celebrations of his deaths, victory laps of his deaths, you know, reposting his own videos that are extremely ironic, where it would appear that karma came around, in that, you know, he's saying sometimes you just need, I'm going to butcher this, but something to the effect of people are just going to have to die if we want the Second Amendment. Gun violence is just a part of the game. Mass shootings and school shootings are just a part of the game if you want the Second Amendment. His own quotes about public assassinations and public executions and how it's important and that. And this horrified people on the right. Look, you can both not approve of what happened to him and not grieve for him. I'm not a big fan of grave dancing, personally, but you aren't owed sympathy from anybody, especially from people that this man spent his entire career vilifying. You understand? He built a platform on it. And if you don't feel that way, it's because you're a white Christian. If you can't conceptualize how these people would feel compelled to celebrate this guy's death, you know, it's because you don't understand. Well, he didn't say anything that bad. Well, yeah, you're a white Christian. So maybe you don't understand why, you know, a black woman would feel a way about the guy that says a black woman's brain isn't developed enough to be able to pilot a plane. She doesn't have the intellectual capacity. She must have got that job from DEI. You know, things like that. Now, I'm not going to get into all the shit that he said. I've done it on this show, right? I don't mourn Charlie, but I'm not celebrating it either. I do, however, mourn what this country was before his assassination. Because we're going to be feeling the ripple effects of this for a very long time. If it feels to you like something shifted, it's because it has. Republicans are enraged that the left isn't showing empathy. The left is frustrated because they feel like the right hasn't been showing empathy in the first place. Charlie himself preached that empathy is a weakness, that we shouldn't have empathy, that we shouldn't show empathy. But you know what? I think this whole thing has shown us that this country is lacking empathy as a core value right now more than ever. And we need to turn down the fucking temperature. Empathy is, it's not just words on the internet. You know? You can't preach about empathy in a screenshot of your fucking Apple Notes that you've uploaded to your story. Or talk about empathy in a 2-minute rant in a car when you aren't willing to show that same empathy in legislation, in your vote, in your other words, in your other viewpoints on other people. And again, this goes to both sides. I don't want to hear you talk about empathy if you aren't showing empathy for, you know, all the other fucking atrocities that are being voted for. Empathy is legislation. Empathy is seeing another school shooting and doing something about it. There was a school shooting that happened an hour after this school shooting. We interrupt this news about Charlie Kirk being shot at a school with 2 other students getting shot at a school in Colorado. 2 kids were shot by a 16-year-old radicalized neo-Nazi. And now the discourse is, was the shooter far left or far right? He was a Trump donor. No, he's a groiper. No, he's got a trans partner. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter what side he's on of the radicalization spectrum. Radicalization is the plague of the algorithm age. Do you understand? Echo chambers are cooking people's brains. Propaganda is whooping your ass. It's happening across the political spectrum. It's happening on the left. It's happening on the right. We are being pulled in this direction. I try my best to be a voice of reason, and I take great pride in it. I take great pride in the fact that my comment section has people on the left and the right consistently. And I take pride in the beginning of this show, it was full of hate comments from the right. It was full of, whenever I'd say something that leaned right, the left was fucking on my ass about it. And now, for the most part, we're getting closer. But I feel like I'm fighting 1v7,000 every day, because for every one of me, you got people that get more views than me, have larger followings and bigger platforms than me, because they're baiting on divisiveness. They're baiting on the extremities of either the left or the right. I joke a lot about how if I wanted, I could become a far-right podcaster and be one of the most fucking popular people in America right now. I could be on Fox News in a month. I could go so far left that I'd be unrecognizable and probably 5x my platform. But I feel this like, and this isn't me being mightier than thou. I feel some kind of a responsibility as just a rational fucking normal person in America that realizes we're kind of all pretty close for the most part to unite in any way that I can. And I know it might not seem like that sometimes because I'm extremely critical of the president, but I promise you my intentions are good. You know, here's what I'm really concerned about. White men. Let me talk to you for a second. In fact, let me put the pitties on. And this isn't a Pit Viper mega rant, right? But it's time to get serious. And I know the tone's been a little serious already, but I need you guys to listen to me, okay? White guys, listen. White Christian men feel like they're under attack in this country. Okay? I know you do. Charlie built his entire platform on this. And for his followers, his assassination, his very public, violent, brutal assassination felt like a confirmation. So I want to talk to you for a second. And if you're not a white Christian male, it's important you listen to this too, because it will give you some perspective. Because what's very important now, post Charlie assassination, is that we all start to fucking listen. It's not about being right. So, to my fellow white Christian heterosexual men, I beg of you, do not take the bait. There is only one group of people that benefit from this event. It's not liberals, okay? It's not the right. There's only one group that benefits from dividing us even further, from civil war talks on the timeline. You know who that group is. It's the big groups. Political assassinations tend to come during moments in history where the political center is weak, when polarization is high, and when people are already disillusioned with institutions. And the political center has never been weaker than it is right now. And for many white Christian males on the right, this is now their MLK. Does that sound ridiculous to you? Well, It's the reality, whether it's comparable or not. Charlie is their MLK, and instead of reading about it in the newspaper, they watched him die in high definition. And when they see people celebrating Charlie's death, these people think they would celebrate mine too. These people hate me. That's why you're seeing something has awoken in me. Something has changed. I've been radicalized. Because they think that you want them dead. They think that these people hate you. And those people may hate you because they feel that you hate them. White Christian men. And you say, well, I don't hate that. But I need you to understand, whether you think that Charlie's platform was built on hating these groups or not, that's how they feel. Because that is the message. This is objective. I'm being objective. The message that Charlie was pushing was one of divisiveness, was one of hatred, was one that was littered in racism and misogyny. I don't care if you agree with me. That's the goddamn truth. So these people hate you because they think that you hate them because you think that they hate you. And the cycle continues. So whether he was killed by the far left or the far right or by a 3-letter agency as a tool to create more division, the people in power will be using this as an opportunity to stoke the fire. They've already started. Do not take the bait. Tomorrow, J.D. Vance will be guest hosting the Charlie Kirk show. And if I had to guess, I'd be willing to bet it will not be a unifying message. Because they want to up the surveillance. They want to control what you say on the internet. They want to militarize your cities. They're going to create boogeymen to blame and use that as the reason to control. The panopticon right now is getting people fired and doxxed for being critical of Kirk posthumously on the internet. They're revoking visas, refusing entry to the country based on people that joked about Charlie's death or just commented on it by posting his own quotes. There's a chance that I'm going to put out this video and they're going to come after me. Free speech is under attack again, this time from the other side. You don't get to pick and choose. You might not agree with it. You're going to say he was killed for his beliefs, and now we're assassinating people based on what they're saying. I might not agree with it either. It's just... So who's next? Charlie Kirk occupied a position inside right-wing mass media and conservative activism that was loud, big, and mainstream, frankly. The reason that this is so shocking for so many people is because you kind of felt like you grew up with this guy. I've known about Charlie for 8 years, and, I've made content about him a lot. So who's like the next, there's a void now. Who's going to fill the vacuum? Because Charlie was a core reason Trump won the election. He helped shape the Republican Party that we know today. My concern is a more radical, dangerous voice will move in. Enter Nick Fuentes. Now, if you watch my show, you know about Nick because I've talked about him, and I've talked about the fracture on the right between Groypers, which is his group, and Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump. They feel like Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk are not right enough. They don't hate Jewish people enough. They're shills for Israel, right? And so because of that, there's a lot of speculation that the shooter was a Groyper. Now, Nick has come out and he said, look, I oppose this. I don't fuck with this, blah, 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 blah. Nick is funny. He's clever. And he's extremely well-spoken. He's a Nazi. He's a neo-Nazi. He's the 4chan final boss. He is the Nazi troll incarnate. He's racist. He says the N-word with the har. He's fucking wild, you know? And he is mobilizing. And so now my fear is all these people who are radicalized are going to have to find somewhere to go. And they're going to go to the loudest, most polarizing figure, who is right now, as it stands, Nick Fuentes. They're not going to go to Spencer Shapiro. He's a limp dick. He's a dork. You know, he's just kind of not that guy. The political rhetoric is going to escalate. Charlie will become political fodder by those in power to galvanize, to blame, to warn, to recruit, to radicalize. Institutions are going to double down on security, speech restrictions, surveillance, both by the authorities and by self-censorship among activists. Radical actors like Nick and new ones that are going to start popping up will gain legitimacy in public. And that opens the door to more extreme behavior being tolerated or celebrated in certain circles. Again, I'm begging you, do not take the bait. Something like this happens, and it should be a wake-up call. That division and mounting tensions are leading to increased violence. How do you see this and not say, wow, something is fucked in this wow, something is broken. Wow, looks like we maybe should try to figure out why these kind of things keep happening. The problem is the fringe extremists are winning. Tech oligarchs are winning. Private equity is winning. Misinformation and bot accounts from China and Russia are winning. Twitter is filled with dead internet theory and literal people in server rooms dividing us, and you're falling for it. You got fucking accounts on both sides that are just like some fucking 18-year-old in mainland China or in India or in Russia farming you. You're being farmed. Your brain is being farmed. You're being radicalized by people that don't even live in this fucking country. They don't have your best interests in heart. They're not even Republicans. They're not even liberals. They're getting paid. You're falling for it. We're losing. The empire is falling to social media. I think of the fall of Rome. I think of the fall of all these great empires that lost to wars, the Trojan horse. Do you know what our Trojan horse is? Fake accounts. Social media payouts. Echo chambers. We're fucking eating ourselves from the inside. This should serve as a wake-up call, not a rallying call of vengeance. I keep seeing, we are all Charlie Kirk. No, we're not all Charlie Kirk. Not yet. As of now, we're all the shooter. Caught in a system that rewards outrage, echo chambers, and escalation. Something horrifying happens, and we immediately revert to the same divisive rhetoric. Who was it? Who shot? Who's the killer? What were his motivations? He was a radical left lunatic. He was a radical right lunatic. Finger pointing left and right when we should be pointing up. And until we break that cycle, Every single one of us is at the risk of sitting in the same crosshairs. I'm terrified. I'm not going to sit here and act tough. I get death threats every day. And I'm not even... And I roll it off. I fucking talk shit back. What am I supposed to do? And this isn't to be like, woe is me. I'm a victim. It's just like, there's so much hate, and I hate to say it, it starts at the top. And when they ask the president, what can we do to heal this country? Why is there so much hate? And he says, frankly, I don't give a shit. He literally said, like, I don't really care. Well, what the fuck are we doing? I wish I had more jokes today. I've been sitting here for like 5 days trying to gather my thoughts. I recorded a video when it happened. I didn't put it out. I recorded a video that night. I didn't put it out. I recorded a video the next day. I didn't put it out. I couldn't figure out, because there's a lot I want to say. I mean, this could be a 5-hour episode. I've had combos with people on both sides that feel different ways. I have friends who are like, fuck that motherfucker. He hated me. He didn't like me. He would have made jokes about me if I died. I have people on the other side who are like, I've unfollowed so many people I can't keep up. How could you ever celebrate this? Gino, I feel like the left all hates me and want me dead. And when you start to think of it, most people, no matter where you sit on the aisle, they think that they're on the right side of it. You understand? Most people objectively want good things for others and the country. Now, they might be wrong or flawed in their belief, but I don't want to be all fucking kumbaya, but it's like somebody has to step up and fix this fucking thing. And I don't know if anybody's going to, because everyone in Congress is a fucking pussy. And they're pushing their own agenda. And they got other donors in their pocket. So, I don't know. I was going to talk about a whole bunch of other shit, and I don't want to. I think we just got to go to everyone's favorite segment and try to end this on a bit of a lighter note. Because, y'all don't want to hear me. You just want to dance. Hey, Bam, bam, bam. Hey, bam, 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 bam. So let's get to everyone's favorite segment, the FOH HOF, the Fuck Out of Here Hall of Fame.
Everything he touched go crazy. Crypto punkin' baby. LA to Vegas, catch him in your city, better hide your main bitch. Good luck, baby. Good luck, baby. Good luck, baby. Show about to start soon. Good luck, baby.
Welcome to the FOH HOF, the Fuck Out of Here Hall of Fame. I've had a sip of unbranded water, and I'm feeling rejuvenated to make fun of some people. Yeah. We're only going to do 2 videos today because, again, it's all I have in me. First video is from a regular in the FOH HOF. That, of course, is our dear friend Alex Hormozi. Here we go.
The easiest way to make $1 million is buy something that's $10 million, buy it for 8, and you sell it to somebody else for 10. There you go, you made 2. You don't have to do anything, you just buy something that's worth a lot and sell it to someone for a little bit more. How do you think guys make $1 billion? They buy something that's $10 billion and they sell it for 11, they made $1 billion. That's how that kind of money is made. They're not making it, they're arbitraging value.
Oh. That's it? Dude, why didn't I think of that? Step 1. Have $10 million. Step 2. Hey, is anybody selling something for $8 million that's worth $10 million? I didn't realize all I had to do was buy something for a $2 million discount. You simply buy $10 million worth of product on Amazon on Black Friday for $8 million. And then resell. Drop shipping final boss. Drop shipping made easy. They don't make, I love how they don't make the money. Well, yeah, thanks, Alex. You don't make the money out of matter. You make it by flipping millions. Here's what you do. You take the 4 corners of an $8 million business and you put them in your pocket. That's $2 million each. Assuming you have cargo pants, you can put all 4 corners in those pockets, right? Now you're wearing arbitrage cargos, arbitrage pantalones. If you can buy $10 million business for $8 million each, that's $100 million worth of businesses for $80 million. Now you're up $20 million. You stack that up 10 times, and now you've got passive corners. Now your love is jobbing itself in your pockets. Now your pants are making money for you.
The easiest way to make $1 million is buy something that's $10 million, buy it for 8, and you sell it to somebody else for 10.
Duh. Stupid. You didn't think of that? You fucking idiot. Oh, you've been working? Oh, you've been working for your money this whole time? Dude, just buy stuff for less and then sell it for more. Have you ever considered that? Oh, you're working 40 hours a week. Have you instead considered working 0 hours and just buying stuff for less money than it's worth and then selling it for more? Oh, first day doing business?
There you go, you made 2. You don't have to do anything, you just buy something that's worth a lot and sell it to someone for a little bit more. How do you think guys make $1 billion? They buy something that's $10 billion and they sell it for 11, they made $1 billion.
Who's buying stuff for $10 billion and then selling it for 11? It's just like, I mean, I guess sports teams, there's like 4 people doing that. It's like Mark Cuban, like Dan Gilbert, Larry Ellison. Thanks, Alex. Great advice. Hey, Alex, you got a course I can buy? Okay, hold on. Let's get into our next video. This is another entrepreneur, bro. Let's just jump into it. Here we go.
I can work twice as many hours as you, twice as efficiently as you, and twice as statistically successful as you. I get 64 hours of productivity in a day. Because 8 times 2, I'm working 16 hours, times 2 in efficiency, that's 32 hours of productivity, and I'm twice as statistically successful. I get 64 hours of productivity in a day. If I stay focused and actually am productive for 64 hours in a day, when you think that most people work 40 hours in a week, and they're not focused for 40 hours, so they're probably getting between 10 and 12 hours of productivity in a week. And if I made my main goal 64 hours of productivity in a day, you can imagine why I'm more than 100 times successful in what I try to do and why I can do so much more.
So this guy's working 6 times. This guy's working 6 times as hard in a day than most people work in a week. 64 hours a day. Hey, Ed Milet called. He wants his manipulated time strategy back. 64 hours in a day? That's it? Ed Mylett divided his day into 3 days to manipulate time. That's division. I'm multiplying my day into 3 days. That's 72 hours per day. 24 times 3, that's 72. Not only that, but I only need to sleep 3 hours a night because I'm 3 times as efficient while sleeping in my REM cycle. Also, statistically, I'm sleeping at 3 times the comfortability. I have a memory foam mattress that absorbs and remembers information while I sleep, hence memory foam. That's why it's called a memory foam, because it's actually logging memories of what I'm thinking about while I'm sleeping. And of course, I'm thinking about productivity, sales, and that allows me to clock 18 hours of sleep a day on top of 72 hours of work, which means I'm getting about 90 hours a day per day. So you're not really stacking time like that, bro. Yeah, so like if you're trying to go band for band with me, if you're trying to go hour for hour, band for band, you're just really not that productive. Why do these guys insist on bending time and manipulating math? Dude, these guys love multiplication. Hell-bent on creating entrepreneur fairy tales and productivity witchcraft, You see, if I'm working 8 hours a day at 2 times the productivity, if you work 8 hours a day, you work 8 hours a day because that's how time works. Yeah? You can't just measure your product. You can't just measure your productivity. There's no way to measure. There's no metric for that. You're making that up. Times 2, carry the 2, divided by. What are you fucking talking about, dude? It's just like the seriousness of it too, they're so convinced about it. Guys, look, I wish I had more jokes for you this week. I know that felt like a pretty light FOH HOF, and candidly, it's just enough for me to get clips off. I just don't have it in me. I'm really, really, really concerned about the state of our country. And I know it's been fucked. It's why the show is called Good Luck. But it does feel like we had a shift. I feel like America is now living in a post-Charlie era. The post-Kirk, PK. There hasn't really been a political assassination like this that I can think of in a very long time. And again, the nature of it, the fact that he wasn't really he's just a content creator. It feels really different. And I'm just begging everybody out there to just have some compassion and understanding for everybody else right now. And I know it's going to be easy to jump down people's throats and call their employer and, fucking call them names. And I know I'm somebody that talks shit about stuff and makes fun of stuff. And you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Love thy neighbor. You know what I mean? I guess is how I'm, at least for a couple of weeks, can we just, for a couple of weeks, can we fucking cool off and just watch some football, dude? Can we get back to just watching grown men give each other CTE, please? That's going to conclude the episode. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and check and make sure if you're subscribed. Leave a comment. Send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. Maybe send it to a Republican if you're a Democrat or a Democrat if you're a Republican, yeah? And save it to your device. If you're watching on YouTube like you should be, Gengar, tap that like button. Smash the fuck out of that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. Guys, I see the stats. I see how many of you watch this show and don't subscribe. It's because you just haven't tried. You haven't checked. Go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. Smash the fuck out of that and then grease up that algorithm and leave a comment. I want to know what you think about the Charlie thing. So leave a comment. Tell me how you feel. Don't hold back. I think we need to have conversations. We need to have this discourse. My comment section on Instagram and TikTok is going to be a fucking shit show. I already know. But it's important, again, to face this shit head on and have these combos. So I want to thank you for listening. Beyonce, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this show. And that's it, guys. So as the country continues to just rip itself apart and we try to put the pieces back together and find some common ground, I am going to wish you a good night and most certainly a good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you gotta know. It's called Good Luck.
With who?